Hello friends, welcome to the Jazz Ranch. This is part 3 of my series on the major scales. Be sure to watch part 1 and part 2 before you watch this video. I'm going to be talking about how to put the two hands together now to play the major scales, and a couple of very interesting things that I discovered doing this series. I'm going to start out now with a quote from Herbie Hancock, and he said this: "A great teacher is one who realizes that he himself is also a student, and whose goal is not to dictate the answers, but to stimulate his students' creativity enough so that they will go out and find the answers themselves." That's a very good quote. I think it's true. I learn from my students, I've learned from teachers, but I've also learned a lot on my own through the inspiration of my teachers and also the musicians that I listen to and enjoy. So now here we go, putting your two hands together to play the major scales. Starting out, I'm going to have a quick review. Remember I said for the key of C and all the sharp keys, the pattern is going to be 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. So you lay the fingers down on the scale. There's your 1, 2, 3. There's your 1, 2, 3, 4. So now it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, interesting thing I figured out recently is that the thumb on the C scale and all the sharp key scales, the thumb is going to be on the root and on the fourth step of the scale. So root, cross under, fourth step, root, fourth, and so on. Same thing for all the sharp keys, like G is going to be root, thumb on the root, thumb on the fourth step. So crossing under to the fourth step. D's the same thing, all the sharp keys. Root, then on the fourth step. So now we'll talk about the next step. Now, another fascinating thing about the flat keys is the thumb is always going to be on the C or on the F. In other words, let's take A flat. There's the thumb on the C. There's the thumb on the F. There's the thumb on the C. Thumb on the F. Thumb on the C. Thumb on the F. Thumb on the C. This is consistent throughout the flat keys except for G flat, because there's no C in the G flat, would have to be on the B. There's no C in the scale, but every other flat key has a C in the scale. So if we did D flat, there's the thumb on the F, there's the thumb on the C. You see, so it's consistent that the thumb is on the F or the F or the C in the flat keys. So that's fascinating. And the other way was on the sharp keys, it's always on the root or the fourth. Now let's look at the left hand, starting with C and then working through the sharp keys. The thumb is going to hit on the fifth, and then again on the root. Remember, the right hand was on the root, and then the fourth. So this is interesting, that the left hand should be root and fifth, right hand root and fourth. There's a relationship there. There it is. If we go to D now, thumb on fifth, and then on root, and then again on fifth, and then on root, and so on. For the left hand playing the flat keys, there's going to be three varieties. For the key of F, it's going to hit on C and on F, which is the same as it was in the right hand for the flat keys, always hitting on the F or the C, except for the G flat. See, so there you see 5, or the C, and there's the F. The C, and then the F. Now, the others, 3 others, 4 others, the A flat, B flat, D flat, E flat, these are interesting. Like B flat is the third, and then the 7th, third, then the 7th. Same thing with A flat, third, right? 7th, third, and 7th. And then you go D flat, same thing, third, crossover, 7th, third, 7th. So again, G flat is the oddball in the group. In other words, it has the 4 there, so the thumb is hitting on the 4th step of the scale, and then again on the 7th. So 4th step again, 7th. So now putting the two hands together, this is really fun, try to make this work. But to make it the easiest way to start, I would just do 1 octave ascending, get that, and then do 1 octave descending. So like ascending, That's crossed over this here, then this crosses over here. Then they hit together there, then descending. Just do that much. Get comfortable with that. I have to do it very emphatically. And slowly. Now reversing it. So. This takes practicing a lot, I think, at first to get the feel of that. But you see, there, together, then here, then crossing, then reversing it. Do that much to start. Once you've mastered one octave ascending, you want to try 2 octaves. So there's your crossing. That much. Let's see where they're crossing. Crossing, 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 crossing. Descending. You can try it very slowly at first. I'll have this written out for you if that helps to see where the crossing parts are. Now after you practice this enough, it becomes intuitive. It's just automatic in your hands, but you have to practice it a lot and you have to understand the crossings. So again, if you practice each hand separately, this one being on the C and F connections, and then same thing here, but now being on the 5th and the C, and then the 5th. Then putting them together. I would practice very slowly at first, like this, emphatically. So I just practice them over and over again until I get each scale to sound the way I want it to sound. And then you can always add a metronome if you like. Just want to wrap up by saying this is a really good warm-up exercise to build your chops up and to loosen up to play and develop your technique. So I hope you can use this to your advantage and use some of the pointers that I gave you on how to find the fingering. We'll sign off. That wraps it up with this section of major scales. Now, in the future, I'm going to be talking about other scales and modes, and I'm going to be showing you some things that have to do with the symmetry within the keyboard. So until next time, I'll say, in the words of my great friend Hermie Dressel, God rest his merry soul, swing loose, and we'll see you next time around. Bye-bye.